A Raheem Sterling and Jadon Sancho swap deal sounds like the sort of thing you might do in FIFA, but would never happen in real life. And when the stories first came out, what was it, a couple of days ago? I just thought it was paper guff. Now, David Ornstein has confirmed two things. Number one, that Jadon Sancho is likely to leave Man United before the end of the summer, and I think that's a good thing. It's what I've wanted to do, even though he's returned to the squad. Well, he's not been in two matchday squad, so he returned to training. But anyway, he should be leaving. However, Raheem Sterling coming the other way. No. Short answer is no. Long answer is definitely no. I'm going to run through the article from David Ornstein, what's been reported, and from The Telegraph too, and want to have a little conversation around any concept here of Sancho and Manchester United and Sterling all being wrapped in some sort of swap deal. Anyway, Sancho is likely to leave United permanently or on loan before the transfer window closes, and the club are in talks with Juve, which we already knew, and Chelsea about a deal. The Juve interest dates back to January. For Chelsea to proceed with a switch, it would probably require a player to go in the opposite direction. And at present, Sterling is viewed as the most feasible of the candidates discussed. A lot needs to happen. Obviously, he's got 3 years left on a 325 grand a week deal, which he would want a massive payout for. All right. He's not part of the plans at Stamford Bridge. Right. We already know that. Now, let's go over to The Telegraph, and from Mark McGrath and what he's reporting. He's saying that Dan Ashworth has held discussions with Chelsea. Man United have opened talks over a deal for Raheem Sterling, but will only progress in a swap for Jadon Sancho on their own terms. It is understood that Dan Ashworth was in dialogue with Chelsea. He's frozen out. Blah, 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 right? Ladies and gents, I need you to let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Because my immediate reaction to this is hell to the no, all right? I look at what Manchester United have been doing this summer, and as I said, or maybe I didn't say it, it feels like for the first time, I can actually genuinely buy into a vision of what we're trying to do this summer. And a big part of that is the age profile of players that we are signing. Here are our completed signings. Lenny Yoro, 18. De Ligt, 25. Xerxes, 23. Soon to be added onto that list is Ugarte, who's 23. And Mazraoui there, the elder, at 26. And we've been getting rid of players on big wages. Players who are on the fringe. Varane's gone. Martial's gone. And lots of other players have left. And then let's have a little conversation around Raheem Sterling. The 29-year-old Raheem Sterling, who was on 300 grand a week or more at Chelsea, who is frozen out, who is not even training with their first team. And how in the world, in what way, shape or form does that add into that? All right. And then I'll try and take a step back here and say, right. So if the Telegraph is correct, let me go down here and pull this back up here. If the Telegraph is correct, and Man United have opened talks, but will only progress in a swap deal on their own terms, then I'm trying to think, okay, right. Conceivably, what could those terms be? Let me know in the comments on this one. Hypothetical, because I don't think it will happen, right? But hypothetically, if United were to get Raheem Sterling, what terms could possibly be good for us? A 2-year contract on somewhere in the region of 100 to 150 grand a week, and he accepts that he's a squad player. I mean, pretty much about as far as I would go. But even then, he's not a first-choice right winger. And 100 to 150 grand a week is going to be more than what Xerxes on, more than what Højlund is on. I believe more than what Lenny Yoro's been given. I believe not too far off what De Ligt has been given, and certainly more than what Mazraoui has been given. It would mean that Sterling would come in. Now, of course, there wouldn't be an outlay because it would be a straight swap deal. But it looks like that all over again, doesn't it? The Alexis Sanchez and Henrik Mkhitaryan swap deal. Mkhitaryan didn't work out. Sanchez, still, in my opinion, the single worst signing that we've made post-Fergie because of the ripple effect that's happened inside our squad. I hope that this is just Barada and Ashworth playing the game. All right? That's what I hope this is. And in my opinion, I think they played the game with the Ugarte situation. We were linked with Sander Berg and everybody lost their mind. But Fabrizio repeated it the whole way through, and I don't think we ever really were looking at any other midfielder. But, we just threw a couple of names out there, made some inquiries, just to, I don't know, make PSG feel uncomfortable. And maybe that's what United are doing here with Sancho. But if I'm being completely honest, at this stage in the window, Juve are interested, but they've just signed the winger from Fiorentina, and they've just signed Conceição, 2 wingers. So if they were to bring in Sancho, I think they need to get rid of Chiesa, and I think Chiesa would probably be a name equally as unwanted from United fans. I don't think he's ever really been the same since the injury. But just it's been really easy to buy into the vision of the transfer window. And any idea of Sterling coming to United and Sancho going to Chelsea, it feels like the sort of move, the sort of transfer that Ed Woodward would have done. That feels like a peak Glazers signing. No vision of a long... That's not building a squad for the long term, which I said in the live show this morning. And I really didn't think it was going to go any further than that. But David Ornstein has confirmed that Sancho's likely to leave, and you're looking at Juve and Chelsea as the 2 options. Now, if it's to be Juve, they need to find somewhere to sell Chiesa before they can bring Chelsea in. Before they can bring Sancho in. And then on top of that, they wouldn't pay all his wages. So United would probably have to pay off part of his wages. That's what all of this is. Sancho is a signing that we paid 70 million for. Hasn't worked out. Sancho being on north of 300 grand, thereabouts 300 grand a week at United. But Sancho going out on loan and Sterling coming in. Even in the most favourable of terms. And I very much doubt, by the way, that Sterling would accept a wage of that level, but maybe it will be very different if he got a massive payout from Chelsea on the remainder of those 3 years of his contract, but that's going to get wrapped into some sort of legal dispute. Chelsea won't do that straight away. So it's the 27th of August. It's just, I don't like the idea of it. I want Manchester United, in an ideal, and I'm sure Manchester United probably do as well, by the way, to just move Jadon Sancho on, loan with an obligation to buy, wages covered, good luck, Jadon. Go and enjoy your career elsewhere, because it's not going to happen at United. But involving Sancho in the conversation just feels like swapping one player who doesn't really have a long-term future at this football club on massive wages for another player who I don't even think... Doesn't Sterling have that ridiculous record where he's played against United like north of 20 times and has never scored against us? Maybe that's because he always knew he was going to play for United. But I don't like the look of this. I don't think it'll be a good signing. I don't think it'll be a right signing. And it's certainly not part of any sort of long-term vision, which I think we've been sticking to all summer long. So it would be a very strange move. Let me know what you think in the comments.